going to show you today how I made these 7 quick, easy, delicious appetizers for your game day party. Let's get to the video. This appetizer is Saucy meatballs, and for this appetizer I'm going to use a 18-ounce jar of apple jelly. I'm going to empty that into this bowl. Just pour it right in. This appetizer goes together really quick. Get all that apple jelly out. This will add sweetness to your meatballs. Then I'm going to add in a 12-ounce of chili sauce. Pour that right over all of that apple jelly. Sounds kind of silly, but it really tastes great together. I usually use a fork so I can mash the apple jelly really good, just like this. And then to this mixture, I'm going to add 2 pounds today of home-style meatballs. You can add up to 3 pounds of meatballs. Just pour those right in. Use your spoon and coat all those meatballs with that nice sauce. The meatballs are still frozen at this point. So you have 2 options. You can heat these meatballs, saucy meatballs, in a crock pot. You would want to put it on high for about 2 hours, 3 hours maximum, until they're nice and bubbly. You can also take a 9x13 pan like this one, and you can pour your meatballs in that. I've greased this 9x13 pan. I'm going to pour the meatballs all in the pan. Just like this. Spread those out nice so everything's nice and coated. And then you can bake this in a 300-degree oven for about an hour. Again, you want it all nice, steamy, bubbly around the edges, and your meatballs will be finished. That's a very simple appetizer. Oh, look at that. These are our saucy meatballs already finished. Baked them about 35 minutes or so in the oven. Look at that. They're steaming. They're nice and hot. Give them a good stir, and they're ready to serve. You can place in a warm crock pot, you can place on a serving platter, but your saucy meatballs are finished. Quick and delicious also, I'm going to use 2 pounds of a breaded butterfly shrimp. And so we're going to follow the directions on the butterfly shrimp package. We're going to bake these in the oven 10 to 12 minutes on 400. Here is our pre-breaded shrimp. You can also use popcorn shrimp. That way you won't have the tails on your shrimp. So now to make them like a bang bang shrimp or a TNT shrimp, you're going to use the same amount of mayonnaise and the same amount of a sweet chili sauce. I'm going to use a 1 cup measure. Pour that sweet chili sauce right in there. This is the brand that I use. It's like a Panda Express sweet chili sauce. I'm pouring that right in my bowl, 1 full cup. I've got my full cup of mayonnaise here. I'm going to add this over to the chili sauce, and I'll show you what it looks like as it mixes it up. So here we go. 1 cup of mayonnaise, 1 cup of chili sauce. Mix that around. It's going to get a nice red color. And then I'm going to take those hot shrimp, dump those right into the sauce, just like this. Toss those shrimp in the sauce. You can add a little bit more sweet chili sauce if you want them a little bit hotter. I'm going to add just a touch more of sweet chili sauce. Comment where you're watching from. Make them nice and warm. Mix all this together. Make sure all your shrimp get coated nice. Place them back in that preheated oven. You don't have to have it as hot. The first time we cooked them, we did it on a 400. This time, just put it in about 300. You want the sauce to bake right onto those shrimp really nicely. Separate them out so they all get a little toasted. Put all your remaining sauce on there if you have any in the bowl. And there you go. I'm going to return these to the oven. Here are those finished bang bang shrimp right out of the oven. They're nice and hot. For the next quick, delicious, and easy appetizer, I'm going to use chicken bites. I prefer the white meat chicken bites. You can get yours from your local grocery store. These are the ones that I have. And there are about 4 pounds in this bag, 3 to 4 pounds of chicken bites. And we're going to bake these in the oven on 400 for about 15 minutes initially. They're going to get nice and crispy. Here are my chicken bites. So we decided, my crew likes the buffalo, but then I have some small ones that like the barbecue. So these are white meat chicken bites, barbecue on one side, and buffalo sauce on the other side. I'm using a Sweet Baby Ray's buffalo wing sauce. I'm just gonna coat that right over some of these, about half of my tray. That looks good. The other half, Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. You can use a hotter barbecue sauce. You can use a barbecue sauce of your choice. This is my family's favorite barbecue sauce. Now you're gonna return these chicken bites to your oven, about 300, and you're gonna leave them in there about 10 more minutes. I'll show you what the finished product looks like. Here's our nice barbecue chicken and buffalo chicken white chicken bites. These are hot out of the oven and ready for our guests. This appetizer is spinach dip. It's a cold spinach dip. I used a 12-ounce package of chopped spinach. Drain it really well. I come back and use paper towels to drain my spinach really well. Put the chopped spinach in a bowl. One of the most popular brands to use is the Knorr vegetable mix. I'm gonna put that in the bowl. This is a real easy cold dip to make. I'm gonna add 16 ounces of sour cream to that. It's best if you can let it sit overnight, so you could make this a day ahead of your party. And then I'm gonna add 1 cup of mayonnaise. You can use a mayonnaise of your choice. Stir this ingredients really well. Get all of that dry soup mix mixed in. Get your spinach mixed in. And this dip comes together really fast. You'll cover this with saran wrap. Place it in your refrigerator until you're ready to place it on your table and serve it for your guests. When this one is ready, I'm going to show you how to pour it in a bread bowl. I have a sourdough bread bowl that I've made just for this dip. After this sits for at least an hour in the refrigerator, I'll show you how it comes together really good for your table. If you like my bread bowl that I use for the cold spinach dip, please click on our sourdough recipes and you'll learn how to make sourdough bowls just like this. This is a mini chocolate chip cookie dough dip. This is another cold dip that I'm gonna make. This is a sweet dip. You can serve it with pretzels or you can serve it with vanilla wafers or graham crackers. So the first thing I do is I take 2 blocks of cream cheese and I'm gonna take a half a stick of butter and put this in the microwave for just a couple of seconds, maybe 30 seconds to get everything nice and soft. Here's my softened butter. My softened cream cheese, mix that together really well. You'll add a ½ teaspoon of vanilla to this, stir it up really nice. About a ½ cup of powdered sugar and a ½ cup of light brown sugar. It'll give it a nice caramel-like flavor to your cookie dough batter. About a ½ cup of chocolate chips to this. I usually use mini chocolate chips. Because I softened the cream cheese in the butter, I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator and let it chill for about an hour, and then we'll plate this with our cookies. There again, you can use vanilla wafers, graham crackers. If you like a saltier snack, you can use pretzel sticks or pretzel dips to go with that as well. This is a nice mini chocolate chip cookie dough dip. This is a real simple hamburger dip. You're gonna make it on top of the stove. Use 2 pounds of hamburger meat. I used a ground chuck in this one. It's about 2½ pounds of hamburger meat. Then I'm using a 1-pound roll of Jimmy Dean regular sausage. You can choose to use a hot roll of sausage. It'll make your dip a little bit spicier, and you'll serve this with chips on the side. So I'm gonna put these in the pan and start those on the stove. This is my sausage hamburger dip we're gonna have with tortilla chips. You can also have bread with it if you like. I'm gonna add 1 package of taco seasoning mix, just a dry mix. Mix that in really well. I also drained that sausage and hamburger meat. Mix the taco seasoning in real well. To that, you're gonna add 2 cans of Rotel tomatoes, diced tomatoes with green chilies. I also add about a ½ a can of water. It'll help it as it gets started, not scorching on the bottom. I'm going to add a whole block of Velveeta cheese. This is a 32-ounce or a 2-pound loaf of Velveeta cheese, so I'm gonna add that on top. This is a great dip that you can put in your crock pot and it will warm throughout the afternoon. I usually do it in the crock pot and leave it on low for 2 or 3 hours. You can serve it right in the crock pot. If you don't have a crock pot, you can use a Dutch oven on the stove and you can place this whole 2-pound loaf of Velveeta right in there, and I'm gonna return this to the stove and I'm gonna let that melt on low for a few minutes, stirring it along so it doesn't stick on the bottom. This is my favorite appetizer of all. It's the hot Sammys. And you can make hot Sammys a lot of different ways. I'm choosing to make mine with the King Hawaiian sweet rolls. To start this process, we're gonna take a stick and a half of butter. We wanna place it in the microwave until it's all melted. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that while I slice the rolls. These come together really quick and easy. This is a pack of 24, so I'm gonna cut 12 at the time, or maybe I'll do 6 at the time. They broke really easy there. So you'll just turn them on their side. It's good to use a bread knife with a serrated edge to cut those rolls. See how easy that is? You're slicing them right there. Leave those open. Do the other ones. You can use ham, turkey, roast beef. You can use the meat of your choice when you're making these. I'm gonna lay down cheddar cheese. You can also use the cheese of your choice. You can use pepper jack cheese. I'm using cheddar cheese tonight. You can use whatever cheese that you would like to, what's your family. So I'm placing down cheddar cheese. And then I have chosen a Kentucky Legend ham, which is already pre-sliced. I'll peel those slices off. I'm gonna make these sandwiches nice and hearty for our guests. And just that easy, I've made 12 sandwiches. So I'm gonna lay those to the side. Now I'm gonna do 12 more. Here's our melted butter. To the butter, we're gonna add about a teaspoon of garlic powder. Then we're gonna add about a teaspoon of onion powder. I use a Mrs. Dash garlic. I'm gonna use about a teaspoon and a half of the Mrs. Dash. And then let's do 2 teaspoons of seasoned salt. We're gonna stir that really well. We've got all the seasonings in here, and then we're gonna add about 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire, I think I said that right. I'm gonna go ahead and put a 4th tablespoon in there. Stir this really well, mix it in good. And then you're just gonna take this and drizzle that right over all of your sandwiches. Drizzle it right over. The bottom bread is gonna soak up some of that butter. If you don't wanna use quite this much, use 1 stick of butter. And then if you wanna add a little bit of the Mrs. Dash to the very top, you'll get that nice garlic and herb flavor, and you'll have a little bit of seasoning on the top of those sandwiches as well. Look at that, those are nice. Now we're gonna put these in the oven on 300 for about 15 minutes. Okay, that's it, y'all. These are the 7 appetizers, and if you stayed around for all of the video, I showed you my favorite one at the end, which is the hot Sammys. These 7 different appetizers can all be made with less than 7 ingredients, and altogether at my local grocery store, I spent about $115 to purchase all of these, and there's enough food here to feed about 18 to 20 people. If you want more great recipes like this, press like and subscribe to follow.